So today we'll be looking at the crown movement tracking. We have done the enrollment module, crown billing module, the assessment module. We skipped the crown movement tracking and we did the crown e-learning. So we'll do crown movement tracking today. Then we will be left with only two modules, namely the crown upload and crown administration. And hopefully, before the week runs out, we'll be through with the business part of training in crown system solution. So the movement tracking module is the module that deals with attendance of both employees and the students in the school. The movement tracking, you can from it send out information to the parents at home. So without much ado, let's go straight to the crown movement tracking. And I'm believing that we won't waste much time in crown movement tracking today. So as usual, we have the crown movement tracking state, movement tracking transaction. Then the peculiarity here, we have the movement tracking inquiry. Then as in all the modules of crown system solution, we have the movement tracking report. So what do we have? The movement tracking static data. We have the attendance parameter, we have the biometric registration, then we have the holiday date parameter. Now, just to mention before we proceed, there are three major ways you can capture attendance into crown system solution. You can use the online method, which is where we are now, that you can just log into the system and you capture the attendance of employees and students. You can as well use the upload, you capture on an Excel sheet, then you upload seamlessly when you have the time. Then another method is the biometric capture, whereby you need to capture the biometric information of the employees and the students in the system. And when they come in the morning, you just log into crown system solution, and by the means of their fingerprint, you capture the attendance into the system. Now, having said that, let's go straight to the attendance parameter. So what do we have here? The attendance parameter is already set up in the system. So you only have the due and a date. The only thing you are required to do here is when you use the date, you can set it to yes or no. There's only yes or no that you can set. If you want a feature, you want to use a feature, you set it to, you leave it at yes. But if you feel that that feature, you don't want to use it as at the time you are setting up, then you set it as no. So like I said before, it's already set up in the system. So all you need to do is just to edit it. So you don't have to set up afresh. You just edit what is there already. Now, the first one we have here is absent from school with permission. So the same principle is applicable to all the options that we have here, from options absent from school with permission to options the school is on public holiday. Now, absent from school, we just pick one, we look at it, then we move to the next functionality in movement, empty static, so to say. So let's pick absent from school with permission. We go to edit here. Now we say attendance status is absent from school with permission. So if you look at my screen, discover that when you take your cursor to this place, it's showing you the stop sign, meaning that there's nothing you can do to the attendance status. It's already defaulted in the system, so you cannot change it. Now we have the description in which you can actually do something. So you can either leave it to what it is, or you can change the narration here. Now we have the automatic SMS to employee and parents. So if this is set at yes, it means that once you run what we call attendance update, which you are going to see in empty transactions, that after capturing the attendance for the day, you do what we call update. Once you do that, if this is set as yes, it means that parents or sponsors of students at home, they are going to receive SMS. And what is the SMS message they are going to receive? It is this default SMS message, which is for your information. Then the system will go look at that particular student that was absent from school as at the time the attendance update was run. Pick the first name of that student, pick the name of that student, was late to school today, then the date of that attendance capture. Please call the phone number. The system goes, choose the phone number that was captured as the phone number of the school. Phone number you can use to reach out to the school for any observation or comment. Thank you. So this is the default SMS message this parents that has this student is going to receive. Like I've been saying throughout this training, the system uses the sponsor email address and phone numbers to send out messages, messages, SMS, either SMS or email messages. So this is the SMS message. This parent that has his or her child late to school or absent from school is going to receive. That is when this automatic SMS to employees to parents is going to is set as no. So this SMS is, if you look at it, automatic SMS to parents to employees to parents. So it is the same thing. If it is for an employee, then it's going to take the employee's name and the date the employee was absent from school and send it using the employee yes, the phone number captured for that employee. Now, the same thing is applicable here, automatic emailing to employees to parents. So if this is set as yes, it means that the parent at home will receive this email on their mailbox. But if it is set as no, so what happens is that for the email, it is free. You only need to have an internet subscription for you to have access to the internet. So you send your email free of charge. But for the SMS, it is charged. You need to subscribe an SMS bundle, or you need to recharge that line so that the system can use the information provided during implementation to send out SMS. So the SMS is charged. So for some schools that maybe they are too rich to afford the SMS charges, or they have so many commitments, they don't want to include the SMS charges to what they're already paying for. So they are going to set this as no. So they are not going to be receiving S. The parents are not going to be receiving SMS. They're only going to be receiving mails only. Now, affect student attendance. If you want this to affect student attendance, you set this as yes. But if you don't want it, leave it as no. Archive messages. If you want the messages to be archived after sending, then you leave it as yes. But if you want it to be shown, so that whenever the person handling the attendance or a teacher of a particular class logs into the system, he or she can see the SMS that was sent out. So you leave this as no. That's if you have the time to be reading the SMS and the email messages. You set this as no. But you don't have the time because you already know that the system is sending out that information. You leave it as yes, so that after the system sends out that information, the message will be archived from the system, thereby saving space. So that is the same thing here. So when you are capturing attendance, all here we have yes, 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 both for email and the SMS. And we have seen the default SMS messages. Now, if you are capturing for attendance and when you run the attendance update, you don't want to receive email or SMS in any of these options here. You come to this place, use the edit button, set this to no, set it to no. But if you want to be receiving SMS, just as you set as yes, then anytime you capture attendance. So what I will need you to do is go to use a particular student, edit the sponsor email and phone number of that student. That's when you are doing your hands-on. Go to enrollment module. go to enrollment module, enrollment static data, enrollment static student biodata registration, update. Select a particular student. Like this student now is in primary one, this particular one is the one you're using. So you click on edit just to refresh our memory. Sponsor details here. You remove student at limited.co.uk. Put your own email address. Remove this phone number. Put your own email address. Then update. Go to previous. Click on update. The system updates that. So once you capture attendance and you run attendance update, the movement tracking transaction, which we are going to see shortly, if that student is marked absent for the day, then you discover that you're going to receive SMS and email because those two they are set as yes here. All right. Do we have any question before I proceed so that we don't forget?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay. Pastor Famous,
No questions.
Samuel, no questions?
No questions, no.
Right. So that's simple enough. All right. Then biometric registration, just as the name registration implies, registration of biometric data. So you see, capture data by using biometric registration. So this is the functionality that enables you to pick up the biometric information of students and employees. So all you need to do at the beginning of the term or when you enroll a new student and you want to be using the biometric method, the biometric device will capture his attendance instead of capturing it online or using the upload. So you need to come here. The system need to have that data. Remember, system principle is garbage in, garbage out. So system, even for your phone, if you are going to set to be unlocking your phone or some apps in your phone via your fingerprint, you need to first of all capture your fingerprint into the phone. So that is how it is here. So you need to first of all capture the biometric data into the system so that once the person comes, puts his or her fingerprint, then the system goes to the database having that the biometric information and checks whether that thing is already captured. And if it is there, uses it to capture for the attendance. So if you click on that biometric registration, you have capture for students, capture for employees. So the same principle is applicable for either the student or the employee. So we are going to just pick one, capture for students. Now, when you do capture for students, the system lists out all the students that were already enrolled in the system. So it goes to the student table, student biodata registration, list out all of them. Then all you need to do is go to this capture icon against the name you want to capture and capture that the biometric information. Now there are too many here. Remember, you can use the search. So student, what is your name? My name is so and so. Then you type the name here. The name appears, then you go straight and you capture. So you don't need to be navigating through 1, 2, 3, 4 to up to 26 pages. No, you just search the student's name. Just the message is there for you. Capture that information. So let's capture for this Tom Jonathan. All you need to do, click on capture here, and the system can use either of two fingerprints captured in the system. So you can capture for finger one or capture for finger two. So if you are capturing for finger one, you can capture for finger one. The system activates the biometric device already installed in your computer system. So there is one that is already integrated. It's not, just to note, it's not all the biometric devices that are compatible with Crown system. There's a particular one that's already integrated into the system. So that is the one you are going to use. So during implementation, if a school needs that, we are going to give them the model. So they go and buy it. Or if they want us to give to them, so we give it to them. So when they use that, install in their computer system, then once you do that, the system is going to use that device, activates it, and capture the biometric information. So here it's showing me biometric device error because there is none plugged to my system. There's none plugged, but it's already installed. I've already installed the driver, but I did not plug it. So I didn't I plugged the physical device. I can capture it. So you capture for finger one, you capture for finger two as well. The same thing is applicable for both employee and or student. Now holiday param, that's a piece of cake, is where you set up the compulsory holidays in the system. What I mean, the days that are always holidays. So for schools across the nations, apart from those in the Arab nations, I know that all Saturdays and all Sundays they are public holidays. No one goes to school on those days. So you put them all Saturdays, you click all Saturdays and all Sundays, you save. But if you have all Mondays to be public holiday, you just pick and you save them. All Mondays to be public holiday. So the system is not going to mark Monday as if I mean if this you are moving the system forward here, enrollment module. Remember enrollment module, enrollment update. Here we do close of business run. You see, next working date is this, next calculated working date is this. Assuming this current working date is a Friday, you will discover that the next working day will not be 11, but rather it's going to be 13. Next working day, because all Saturdays and all Sundays are public holidays in the system. So instead of having 11th here, they are going to have 13th, meaning the system will skip the Saturday, which will be 11, and the Sunday, which is going to be 12. And the next working day or the next calculated working day is going to be 13th, which is the next Monday. So any day you set as public holiday in that holiday param, the movement tracking status, the system is going to see that day as public holiday. So you are not going, the system is not even going to give you the opportunity to capture attendance on that day. The system is going to, when we get to where we capture attendance proper, you discover that the system is going to give that place a golden color. So that day will now be a public holiday. You can't capture attendance. And when you run the attendance update, the system is not going to mark anybody absent, and nobody is going to receive any SMS or email that he or she, whether it is an employee or a student, is absent from school on that day. So that brings us to the end of empty static data. We move straight to empty transaction data. Now, let's begin with biometric attendance record. So this is now where, when you come to school, you now capture the attendance proper. So like I said before, you can use the biometric attendance to capture that. So remember, in movement tracking status, we already captured the biometric information. Now it's the time to use that information we captured in static to capture the attendance of students. So biometric attendance, maybe the system will be at the gate. You have a device at the gate, maybe a computer system at the gate. So when the student comes in, the person handling it, either the security man or a teacher or whoever, will now, the system is already logged in as students are coming. So all you need to do, empty transaction, biometric attendance. Who are you capturing for? Is it going to be the student or the employee? So you do that from here, from this same page. So if it's going to be for students, then is it going to be school attendance or subject attendance? Because you can either capture for school attendance or subject attendance. Now, note that if you are capturing for subject attendance, then the system has to be in the classroom and not maybe at the gate. Either the system is at the gate, you capture for all once, or the system is in the classroom. Each classroom has their own computer system that the teacher uses. So the teacher can capture it anywhere. Now, we are capturing for students attendance to school. Attendance to school. So if you are capturing for subject attendance, then this subject code will be active. So let's see that the cover is now active. You select for the subject you are capturing for. but you want to capture attendance for 2. So this becomes inactive. So when you select that initiate capture, then you are selecting now the student admission number that you want to capture for. Then which fingerprint? You see, you discover that anywhere you see student admission number or name information, we normally see student profile picture. So had it been these pictures were captured in the system, the student picture would have been displayed here. But because it was not captured in enrollment module, it will not be displayed. Now we'll go back to enrollment module to see where we capture that. Now, are we using, remember when we are enrolling those biometric information, we did both for finger 1 and finger 2. So if the student is going to use finger 1 to capture the attendance for the day, you just click on capture using finger 1. So the student just places the finger 1 that was maybe the right thumb or the right index finger or whatever finger they use to capture it. Any finger can go, so long as you know the finger you captured as the first finger. So just places the fingerprint on the biometric device, and that will be captured. So that is how to capture for either the employee or the student. So before we go over to the next one, employee attendance capture, let's go back to enrollment module and see where that student picture can be captured. Enrollment static, see the same biometric data. That is, okay, let's just use one student, do a bit. This one even has a profile picture here. The person that captured it. So this is where you do that. Photograph. Choose 5, just normal how you upload things. Select the particular place, the photograph of the student is saved in the system, and you just do that update. Then that will be captured. The same thing goes to employee biodata registration too. You can capture the biodata, the picture. So for this employee, you just choose the picture already saved in the system and you update that. All right, so that is that for that. We are not doing enrollment module today. Just refresh our memory why those pictures are not coming up when we select the admission numbers. All right, so now that is how to use the biometric. That is the first or one of the methods by which you can capture attendance in the system. Now moving away from using biometric in case they didn't buy the biometric device or they just want to be capturing the attendance online. So first of all, you can use the first option here is employee attendance. So employee, you can capture the attendance in the system. So you just go to employee attendance capture, click on create now. Select the employee ID. Employee attendance to school. Is attendance to school, attendance to subject. This is where you select employee type. If it's attendance to subject, you know that the subject code will be active for you. But if it's attendance to school, then the subject code will not be active for you. Now the attendance time, capture the attendance time here, the time the person came to school. Attendance date defaulted to the date in the system. So the system now, this particular environment is still operating in 10/1/2023 because it's not a live environment whereby school uses. If it's a live environment, it means that the school will be updating. When they come, they finish the activity for the day, then they move the system forward to the next day. So it would have been maybe this day, 26/6/2023, which is today's date. That is, today's date is supposed to be the same date the school will be running. But because this is not a live environment, the system defaulted it too. So you see that anywhere you see date in the system, the system always defaults it to the date that is in the system. As in the current date, the system is on at that particular time. Now the attendance date. So we now need to pick the date the person came to school. I mean, we are capturing this attendance form. The manual entry attendance record, leave it as manual entry because you are doing a manual entry. You are not doing a Zelle upload or scan date record. You are doing manual entry, leave it manual entry there. You click on create. You have captured this attendance for this employee. So that is normal capture attendance. But the system still has another functionality which is called employee authorized absence, meaning that there are some times that maybe the employee will be on leave. But unfortunately, I don't think teachers they go on leave. But if it is a non-academic staff that can go on leave, or if teachers do go on leave, then those days that the teacher will be on leave, you need to capture, you need to let the system know that this teacher is going to be on leave on that day, so that the teacher will not be receiving SMS that he or she was absent from school. No, the system will know that this person is authorized to be absent from school. So you capture that here, employee authorized absence capture. Or even if the person is not on leave, the person took a permission that I am not going to be on school on so day due to so reason. So the person has pre-informed the school already. So you need to come to class system and let the system know that this employee is not going to be on school on this day. So this is where you do employee authorized absence capture. You select the employee ID, employee attendance, employee type, attendance to school, or is he going to miss a subject? Or is he going to miss the whole day? That is for the school for that day. Employee attendance to school. Then the date of absence now. You now capture the date that person is not going to be in school. You create. So once you do that, once you get to that date, the system marks the attendance for that date, update it. Then when the system is sending maybe SMS or email to the people that were absent as an employee, this person, because he has already pre-informed the school and that information was captured in the system, he or she will not get or receive that SMS or that email for that day. Is that clear enough? This two.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we have students abridge attendance, but let's leave that for now. We'll come back to that later. Now, the same thing that is, you see, when we are capturing employee attendance, I want you to know the difference now. You need to select the employee code, the date, and all this information. So discover this one is not is not a very big deal or large amount of data per se that you're going to put into the system, because anytime an employee comes to school, he or she, if he has access to this place, movement tracking can log in, capture his or her attendance, and he or she was in school that day. Or if it is someone that is handling this, when we get to administration module, you will discover that these modules, you can limit, even when somebody is a user in the system, you can limit what he or she can do with the system. So you can, because employee can come to school, maybe come to school at a very late hour, say capture that they came to school early. So you can just limit this to somebody handling the attendance. So the person come to school, he goes to the person handling the attendance, and then they capture his or her attendance as an employee. So it's not deep data per se. But when it comes to students that are capturing attendance for a whole class, you can't come and be doing this one after the other like you did for an employee. That is why the student attendance capture is very unique on its own. So the student attendance capture, you need to select the class code you are capturing the attendance for. Let's say GSS3A, for example. Select the class code. The current academic session is already defaulted here. Then the current term is already defaulted here. Now you click on Start. Then you see the system brings out the names of all the students in that class. 10 per page, because this environment is 10 per page, but there are more than that. If there are more than 10, you can show maybe 100. If you have up to 100 students, instead of you to make mistakes, you just set it as 100. So you see 100 entries here. Now, once that is done, all you need to do is this person, SAMMY-DEBBY, on this day, was he present to school? Or if you are capturing for the current day, is David in school? David is in school. You tick. This is another David. Fire say David. Are you in school? Yes, I'm in school. You tick. You are not in school? No, he's not in school. You go to the next person, you tick. So you tick the attendance. Now, one thing with the attendance is that if you don't have the time to capture the attendance, you can capture attendance of previous days. That you can come at the end of the term and you now say, I want to capture attendance for the month of this month, the January. This is January, month of January. Then you can pick everything. The people that came to school. This person was present to school today. He teach. Is not present. He leave. He present on the 12th. Yes. Not present. He leave. He go to the next. Just like that. So this is where you capture attendance for students. Now, like we said when we are talking about the empty static data, that all Saturdays and Sundays are public holidays in the system, which we fix and we save. Now the system sees all Saturdays, all Sundays. So anywhere you see this golden coloration, it is all Saturdays and all Sundays. And you see you cannot capture attendance for that day. So the system automatically marks this day as public holiday. Now there is another look at this 9th of January 2023. Discover that is having his grade and you cannot see capture. So this place is not that this place is normally a compulsory public holiday. Maybe the school is having midterm break on this day, or there is a public holiday that came up. Maybe in Nigeria we have the 1st October, which is always a public holiday. You have the 29th of May, which is always a public holiday. You have 1st June, which is always a public holiday. So all those days in the system, you just go, you capture them that this is a day. The school is observing a public holiday, just like here now. The school is observing a public holiday. That is why this particular date is gray, and you cannot capture attendance on that day. So it's different but similar to all Saturdays and Sundays. All Saturdays and Sundays, we already know that nobody goes to school on those days. But for some days in the year, there are holidays that the school will observe. So you capture them. You capture those days as public holiday. Or if it's going to be, it's not limited to only one day. It's going to be day range, maybe a whole week. Then you are going to capture that whole week is a public holiday. So the system will grade it out. You cannot capture attendance for those days. And nobody is going to be marked absent from school for those days. In fact, when you are doing the calculation, maybe it's going to affect the overall percentage score of the students or the comment of the principal or the guardian counselor as we saw in the assessment module. So you need to specify that these days are going to be public holidays. So we do that in the administration module. When we are doing administration module, maybe later this week, I will show us how to do this one so that it will be graded out and you cannot capture attendance. Now you navigate. So once you capture, maybe for January, maybe somebody that at the maybe middle of the term you decided to have that information in the system. It's not somebody that used to do it daily. But how big? When you do it that way and you run attendance update after everything, the system is going to still send messages to parents that so and so day their children was not in school. So and so day your child was not in school. So and so day your child was not in school. You are going to get that information. Anytime you do this and you run update, the people that were absent from school, they are going to get that information. So when you are done for the day, you click on save. Let's assuming they are doing it daily. Because why I'm explaining this is here in Nigeria, some schools will not do this unless maybe at the end of the term or at the middle of the term. So they come, they have their they like doing their thing in their old fashioned way. So when they have the time, they now come to the system and they update the information. So you can do that even when you have the system is at the middle of the term. You can come back, capture. But the thing is that anytime you run attendance update, the system marks that day, and you cannot go back to capture attendance for that day. The system will gray out that day. The system grays out that day. So this either it has been captured as a public holiday, or the attendance update has been run for this particular day. So this will not come to school. You cannot come back and capture the attendance. You have already saved that, run attendance update, then you can't go back to capture it again. So after capturing attendance, you click on save. Now, if you are someone that is doing it maybe at the end of the term and you need to be doing it, if you finish 1 month, you need to click on save before you move to the next month. This takes you to February. Then you finish with February, you click on save before you go to March. So you can navigate using previous month, next month. You navigate. So that is how to capture attendance for students. Now you can see capture authorized absence from school for students, just as we did for employee authorized absence. So just go there, click on capture authorized absence. Now we have absent full day and absent half day, which you do not see in employee. So if the student is going to be absent for full day, you leave it as yes. But if it is going to be absent for half day, you leave it as no. So there are some schools here that they capture this information on their report card. So you see that this person was absent from school this number of days, full day, and this number of days for half day. This guy was absent from school for half day, this number of days. So you do that. Just admission number, the date of absence. If you go to the attendance to school, attendance to subject, you select that. Attendance to subject, activate this. Then if it's going to be absent full day, yes. If it's going to be half day, no. You create that. So that is present in the system. So don't forget that all these ones, they have their updates. So you can always go back and check the information that was captured in the system. Then if it is something that needs to be altered or edited, you edit that. So you see, these are attendance that are captured in the system already. So you can always edit. But once you run attendance update, you cannot edit this thing again, because that attendance is captured in the system already. All right, so we have things that were in the middle that I left out, which is capture abridged attendance, message, template capture, and request email, and request SMS for movement tracking transaction. Now let's start with abridged attendance. Great. Now this abridged attendance is implemented in the system in a situation whereby the schools were not able to capture the attendance how they're supposed to capture it, maybe daily or weekly or monthly. So they were not able to do that. But they want the attendance information to appear on their report card. I come again. That's our normal English here in Nigeria. We want to say something the second time. So I said that this abridged attendance was implemented in the system to solve a particular problem, because there are schools that won't have the time, or they don't have the resources to be logging into the system, or where they are located, the network there is erratic. So they can't actually capture the attendance as they are supposed to capture it for students. But they want that attendance information to appear on their report card. So this abridged attendance was implemented into the system to solve that particular problem. So you come to capture abridged attendance, all you need to do is select the class now. This class, for example, the current term, the current session, and the current term they are reported there already. Click on Start. Now, the system displays the students in this particular class. Now, the system gives you a random figure of the number of days the school open for the term. So you are now going to, if the school open for 50 days in the term, so you edit this to 50 days. 50. Now, for this particular student, how many days was he present in school? Out of 50 days, he might be present for 45 days. Out of 50 days that the school opened for the term. That's excluding public holiday. 45, he came to school 45 days and was absent from school 5 days. So this is how you specify for all the students in this class. And then when you are done, you save that information. And the information stays in the system, and the system picks this information and puts it on the report card. Instead of capturing the attendance one after the other from here, the attendance capture, instead of capturing it one after the other, you do the calculation yourself. Here now, the system will do the calculation. You captured it, the system will help you do the calculation and print out the result on the system, on the report card. But here, average attendance, you are going to do the calculation yourself. You fill in that information, and you have that information printed on your report card. Albeit, if you want to use override, if you look at this one, you discover that these ones have been captured. These ones were captured for this particular student now. I don't know who captured this one. You see, 365 days, this person came to 340 days, and the difference between this and this is 25 days. So that is how it was captured in the system. So this solves that problem. But how big you can't use these two functionalities, you can't use this one, this average attendance and this student attendance captured at the same time. No, you need to specify the one the system is going to use. So where do you do that? You do that in administration module. Static movement tracking. Although we'll still come back to this. Movement tracking. If you are going to use their bridge, then this will be set as yes. But if you are not going to use their bridge, you are going to use the normal attendance capture, then this will be set as no when you save in the system. Don't worry. When we are doing the administration model, we will look at these things. We just look at them in details more than we are looking at them now, so that you understand more. So let's go back to the movement tracking. So that is how you set that. If you want to use their bridge attendance for that information, then you need to set the bridge attendance yes in the administration model. Then you use the bridge attendance. But if you don't want to use the bridge attendance, you can capture the attendance how you are supposed to capture it, either using the biometric or using the manual method online here, or using the upload. Then you're going to set that as no when you use the normal. So the system does the calculation for you when you are doing the normal attendance, but you do the calculation when you are using the abridged attendance. All right. So do we have any question on that between the abridged attendance and the normal way of capturing the three other normal ways of capturing attendance? Do we have question on that before we move ahead?
I don't think so. No.
For you, Dr. Famous, you got the explanation. We can't hear you.
He put a message in the chat saying no questions.
No question, I guess. All right. So now, message template. Message template is where we prepare the messages that are here. The messages that we saw in this attendance parameter, these messages, these two, SMS, email, we prepare them in the message template. We use this functionality to prepare them. You only need to click on create. Then if it is for mail or if it is for SMS, then you type what you want to be displayed, to be sent out as a message. But how big, you don't even need to be coming here because the message is there for you already in the static data. So the message is there, so you don't need to come and be typing. But in case you want to alter something or you want a different message, so this is where you type the template of those messages that are used in those attendance parameters. Now we have request SMS, request email, request SMS. So I'm just going to explain one because the principle is applicable to both of them. So assuming we come to school in a particular day, let's assuming we are all in a school setting now. And today we come to school and we have come to a class as a teacher now. There is something that came up, or maybe there's an emergency that happened in the part of a student, and we need to inform the parents immediately. And the parents, they are not in a position to take calls. We can use this email and send them mail right away. This request email message can send them mail right away, and they get that mail and they respond. Or there's an information that came up, we need to relay to the whole school. Then the admin can be in his office or her office and type the mail and send it, the whole school receives the mail. Or as a teacher, there is something that came up at the student, the parents at home, they need to know concerning that class. You can use this functionality, either mail or SMS, and send that information. Or there are messages you need the parents to have that maybe they'll be too busy to look it up in the notice board of the e-portal module. So instead of waiting for them to look it up in the e-portal module, to look at the notice board there, you can send out that information. So whichever way you use this functionality, email or SMS, to send out information seamlessly as a goal. Now remember that the SMS is charged. If you are using the SMS, the school is going to be paying for it. For the email, you only need an internet connection to send out email messages. Now, for you to do that, you have recipient type. Recipient type can either be to a specific student. So if you are using a specific student here, then this place too is going to take you to the student table. Then you select the particular student. So you see now, this one now, you are sending the information to a particular student that the parents they need to know. If you want to keep a copy, you can keep a copy. But if you can click here. If you don't want to keep a copy, you leave this blank. If you want, all right. Now, the subject of the mail and the body of the mail. You put the subject of the mail, put the body of the mail, then you choose the file. If you are sending an attachment, you choose the attachment. You attach the whatever file it is using this one. You send. Then the difference between, if you open for the SMS, you still see the same thing. Only that it's SMS that are sending, but you can't send attachment using SMS. So let's see the SMS. So you see it is the same thing, but you can't send an attachment. So you can't have any attachment there. So let's go back to that mail. Now that's for a student. Now, if it is for a specific class, you select that you are sending as a teacher now. This message is for a specific class. A specific class, then this takes you to the classes table. Where you select the class you want to have. You want their parents at home for their sponsors to receive this information. You type the subject of the mail, you send the mail. If there's attachment, you attach, you send. All right, okay, we will do that now. Now, if it is going to be for the whole school, for the entire student, then it's going to be for the whole school. You don't need to select anything. That too will go off. You put the subject, the mail, attachment, you send. Now we are going to try something. To a specific address. This address is not captured in the system. This address is not captured in the system. So we are not selecting anything here. The specific address, you are not selecting, you are just going to type the address. You are just going to type the address, the specific email address. Now let us use Samuel, can you type your email address on the chat, on the Zoom chat? Likewise,
Sure. Okay. Bear with me just 1 second.
type it on the Zoom group chat. Likewise, Pastor Famous, let me have your email on the group chat. Let us use this functionality now to send for an address that is not captured in the system.
Oh, you want one that's not captured in the system?
Yes, it's not, for this, I'm explaining this recipient type. If you are going to use email to specific address, then that email necessarily, it doesn't mean that it is captured in the system. So that's why I'm requesting your email address. Put it
Okay.
on the chat. Let me put it from there. All right.
Okay, but you said the one not captured. I sent my email, not the official email.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
Mm. What I'm saying is that it doesn't necessarily mean that you capture.
Yeah, that was why I sent this because the official email I think is captured in the system already.
Okay. That's u.co.uk, right?
Yeah, .co.uk.
All right. So subject will be all right. So let us do that. Okay, finish that one. Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's do that one at a time. So when you get the mail, let us know.
I've gotten it.
Right? Can you put it on the chat? Let's see.
Okay,
The mail, just copy it and put it on the chat if you can.
okay. 1 minute.
All right. So,
Yeah, I've just received the email
okay.
almost
That's,
immediately.
all right. So this is the. Is you two you want?
Yeah, I'd like to see a close up, please.
Oh, I didn't know you still need the email. Anyway, let's have your number. Let's do the SMS with your phone number instead of the email. So the same thing is applicable here. Please, let's have your phone number instead. Let's do the SMS. So you give us the message on the card. Pastor Famous, you can leave out the listing.
What did you say?
If you can't copy the listing, leave it.
Okay.
You got the mail and someone got the mail. Mm. Now, note that what I used to send that email was to specific email. What I used to send that SMS was specific SMS. So I've explained what each of them means. All right, so I am sending the SMS now. That's if you have the subscription. So once you get the SMS, please you let us know. If there's still subscription, the SMS will definitely send out. But
Yeah, it's saying SMS sending request initiated successfully.
Yes, I'm saying that if you get the SMS, if you let us know.
Okay.
If we still have subscription for the SMS, because we subscribed some time ago, I don't know if it is remaining. If we still have subscription, then she will get the SMS. But if you don't have subscription, the system will tell you the SMS has been sent out, but you will not get the SMS. So that is one thing we need to know. All right, so please, did you get any SMS?
I've not received it yet.
You get that SMS. Zero five five. That's this for UK, right?
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want, yeah,
yeah,
I think I need to put plus 44. I need to put
yeah,
44,
maybe you.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You can
right.
replace the 0 with +44.
Not even plus 44, just 44. I think that's where we miss it.
Mm,
All right. All things being equal, you are supposed to receive the SMS now. So that's one thing with the SMS. You just need to know the country code you are sending the SMS. So you get the SMS. All right. So while we wait for the SMS, so once you get the SMS, put it on the chat so that we can see. Let's go to the movie. Is that the SMS? Have you gotten it?
No, I'm still waiting.
You get it. Anyway, let me test with my own number. Right. So movement tracking inquiry here. So when we are doing billing, we have the billing online inquiry, billing transaction, online billing inquiry, whereby we just get as a go, we get the billing information of the student. So here for movement tracking, we have it is at empty inquiry. You can inquire for employee, you can inquire for students. So for you to inquire for students, just come student attendance inquiry, select the criteria, admission number is already there already. So admission number, and or either you are selecting for this admission number and this admission number, or if this place is all, you're inquiring for either of the both. But for here, you want the people actually acquire. So you don't have any data available for them, meaning that this thing was not captured for them. Now let me go to an environment. I am sure admission attendance has been captured. For that UAT, attendance has not been captured, so when you are doing your hands-on, you need to capture that and check for yourself. So for students, let me use and here. And that available. That is not true. Anyways, the thing is that the admission for this test environment that I'm using is not everybody that I captured attendance for when I was testing. So the thing, I wouldn't know who I captured for and who I did not capture for when I just tested something. Because it's a copy of a school's environment. So I just tested something. So I didn't see I captured who I did not capture for. So, or just to be on the safe side, let me really be sure of who I captured for. Instead of doing excuses. Yeah, so you see, this student has attendance information. So we now have it here. So we can now view it. So you see, start result. So you see all this admission number of authorized absent, 0. That was not authorized absent, unauthorized absent from school, still 0. Number of student attendance, 85. Number of time the school open, 73. Attendance, that. This information is not correct. Did you notice it's not correct?
Yes.
It's not correct because number of times school open cannot be lesser than number of times the student came to.
Maybe it's the other way around.
No, it's not the other way around. Something must have not add up. Something must have not add up. Yeah. We're going to look at it later. But what you will do is you pick a student in a particular class, capture the attendance when you are doing your hands-on in UAT, then confirm this when you do the inquiry. Confirm this. So you can either make inquiry for students or for teachers. All right. I myself, I didn't receive the SMS. It means that we have run out of subscription. So sorry about that.
How does it work? We have to subscribe to be able to use that service.
Yes, the SMS service, yes. Okay. You subscribe on the number captured for that purpose in the system. There's a number when you are capturing the school details. There's a number you give to us. The school gives to us that we capture that they want to be using for communication.
Okay.
They do the subscription on the number. They do the subscription on that particular number. And the system, they are doing the SMS, they charging that number and using that number to be sending the SMS. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right. So that is that. So we didn't look at this auto update. I was having it for the last. So after capturing your attendance for the day, you now come and do auto update for attendance. So when you run this auto update, the system collects the data of people that came to school, the data of people that did not come to school, the data of people that were authorized to be absent from school. Then do the calculation and print out the report. Send the SMS to people that need to get the SMS, send email to people that need to get the email. So here you see send email to absent employees. Even as you have set it as yes here. Here, attendance parameter, even as you have set it as yes here. You can decide to change your mind when doing the update. So you leave it as no. You run the update. Or you do yes. You want send SMS email to absent yes. Then this absentee student will get the mail. For here, the absentee employees will get the mail. So you have the option of yes or no here before you run the update. All right, so that is that for movement tracking module. The last but not the least, the movement tracking report. Just like in any of the reports, attendance register will have, all right, the report for the movement tracking is peculiar to it. Then class attendance register here, you can select the class you're inquiring for, the time, the session, you click on go, then you have the register. So you see, anyway, let's go to this testing environment and inquire for SS1. Okay. Event tracking. You know why I'm alternating between the environment? The data in this UAT is not, you have not quite filling the data. This particular environment has more data than the UAT. So that's why I'm alternating to, so that we can really get what we are trying to say. For term 3, no. For term 2, something is supposed to be here for term 2. Nothing for January. All right, it appears that information is not there. But I was thinking I already have that information. Okay. So this is where you see the information, the attendance information is you really captured it. Just that I don't think that information is here in the system. That information is not here. So that's why we can see it. So when you capture the information, the information here in the UAT environment, you can come to empty report, class attendance register. You look at it, you see what you have done in class attendance register. Then we have the class attendance summary. The same thing, you select the class, you click on go, the term and the year. So you leave it as term 2 because the system is in term 2. This particular environment is in term 2. So you leave it as term 2, you click on go. You have the attendance, class attendance summary. The same thing, employee attendance register, employee attendance summary. So those information are there. Then holiday date, the date is captured for holiday in the system. You can view that. Workers' Day, Christmas Day, and other. Nobody capture this. Then you have a life table. You already know life table. So you see that for all the modules of our system, the movement tracking report is very, very unique to it. Very, very unique to it. Others look similar, but this one looks unique to it, and the one we saw in e-learning looks unique to e-learning. All right, I think that will bring us to the end of the training session for today. So before we wrap it up, do you have any questions so that we trash it out before we call it a day? Let's start with you, please. Do you have any questions? Are we still there with me? Please, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Right. So everything is understood. Pastor Famous, you have questions?
No questions.
Samuel, how about you? You have questions?
No, everything seems to be straightforward.
Right. So have we started our hands-on already?
Yes.
Okay. If you have any doubt, the WhatsApp platform is there. You can go through it together. All right. Thank you very much.